Hey folks, Dustin here. We've just finished up our GPZ8000 training day with all the other dealers. There's been a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails and a lot of messages and a lot of good comments, bad comments, a lot of weirdness, to be honest. I'll try and put this down. I don't have any of my mic or anything with me here, guys, so I know I have a habit of fiddling with the phone, so I'll try and put that there. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So there's a couple of things. There's two products, okay? There's a GPZ8000, which comes with a standard coil, which is an 18-inch coil. That is the best coil for this detector, okay? And I know some people are getting a little bit confused about why that might work, might not work. You got to understand, this is not a upgraded 7000. It's not an upgraded 6000. This is a completely new, from the ground, complete rebuild, completely different way of thinking, different coil. There's nothing on this detector that's familiar other than the user interface, but how this operates, this ZVT2 and this ESP and all, there's all these technical words, but how it operates is completely different. I'll give you an example with the 18-inch coil. When approaching a target and it's sort of in the ground or on the surface, when you're coming in, this is the front of the coil, and it's a concentric, so it means it's got a big hole in the middle, right? The target, as you approach, the target's in front. Once you break the ground, the target's now where your pinpoint is on the back or the inside. So when you're getting it centered, and when it's down, once it's actually in the ground, it's we've broken it up a little bit. Then it's more in the center. But we use the inside front of the coil to sort of pinpoint. It's pretty confusing. You're going to see a heap of content come out. Everyone's screaming for content and asking a lot of questions. This was the first time that we've actually seen it. This is the first time we got to play with it. Everyone's out there using the machine, testing the machine, feeling it for ourselves. Everyone had an opportunity to use it, come back and talk, grab the engineers. The whole team were there today. I'm talking all the engineers were there. All the key, obviously they got, I think there's 80 engineers that they have on the books. Not all 80 were there, but key engineers were there. They made themselves available to us so that we could really ask those questions and understand, so that we can help you guys when you invest in this technology. And it is very different. This is one of those machines that you're going to want to have a relationship with your dealer, and you want to buy from someone that's going to support you. And I tell you right now, every dealer that's there, they all have great support. So it's not, what I want to say is this detector's not for everyone. If you're just poking around shallow ground and working creeks and things like that, and you've got a GPX6000 with a 10x5 Gold Hawk, or you've got a 14.9 Exceed, or even just 11-inch round, that detector's killing it in there, But this new tech, it punches a hell of a lot deeper for all size gold, and it operates completely different. It's a bit hard to explain how different it actually is, but the biggest confusion is, why can't I buy this base unit with a 13-inch coil? That's not the detector. The detector comes with an 8-inch coil. It's a deep detecting coil. That's what it is. It has an option for a 3-coil pack. The 3-coil pack, that's how it comes in a box. This isn't a box and then we add a coil. It's the one box that has a 3-coil pack. It's huge. It's a massive box. The 1-coil pack is pretty massive, but that's how they come. Now the 3-coil pack is still a little whiles off. Right, so they're obviously focusing on manufacturing the core product, which is a GPZ8000 with an 18-inch coil. The coil behaves completely differently. It really, how do I explain this? It's giving you some discrimination. I don't want to say it's giving you discrimination. It's giving you a lot of different information or via audio. It's got some, I'm going to say the wrong thing, I think it's Eisenhower headphones. They're like $500 those. If you go into an audio shop, musical shop, and buy those headphones, they're $500, and they are absolutely amazing. And they're not just a normal headphone, they're an open back. So not only do you have your headphones on and you can tune in, you get varied feedback from both sides. So you're actually getting information about what type of target that is, and it'll vary depending on the type of target, whether you get audio in both ears. If you're getting audio in both ears at the same time, that generally means it's going to be a bit of moaning, a bit of ground noise. If you're getting alternating sound, you've got a target. There's variation a little bit between something like gold, lead, and your different metals. You know, your magnetics, your ferrite, your ferrous. Another thing this does is, you know, you don't need a ferrite ring. This thing holds its ground balance perfectly, and everything's done in the engine. It's done. I say the engine. It's done within the unit itself. So you don't have to worry about losing that ground balance like you do with a 7000. If you've used your ferrite and then you walk away and you get a bit of chatter, a bit of ground noise, and you accidentally hit that quick track and you actually lose that ferrite balance, you don't need to worry about it anymore. This machine runs dead quiet. So what's significant about it is it'll run in situations where other detectors won't run. It'll be super quiet in all situations, in all ground. So that's a massive thing. These aren't just 3 different size coils, and this is really key. We've had a bunch of calls today, people getting upset that the machine doesn't come with a 13-inch coil as standard. I get that. You want a machine with a small coil. Every detector forever that I've known has always come out with a standard coil, which is the best coil for that machine for most uses. This one, the 8-inch coil, you're going to be using most of the time. And when you see how you can actually dip this thing on the side and pinpoint and the halo effect around the outside, how sensitive it is, and how prominent those targets are when you really hear them. Deep targets, like anything, being so deep, you have to tune your hearing in. That's where this detector is absolutely amazing. It's giving you full stereo, it's giving you variation information. Our brains can process a lot more information, so they've given us more audible feedback. So that's a really big deal. And you're going to see, I can't explain it the best right now. I'll be honest with you, I'm exhausted. I'm not used to sitting down this long. I've been sitting down, other than today, for 3 days, sitting on a chair, having a food, come back in the convention, trying to absorb everything. So you're going to see some really good content coming out from Minelabs shortly, explaining this technologies better. There's an app which you can get from Minelab, which you're going to hear a lot more about, and we'll talk more about that soon. Within that app, you have some really good support infrastructure, and you're going to have access to some expert content. But the main thing is they'll be explaining the differences between these coils, and they aren't just different size coils. They are actually different coils. The 17-inch coil it's like your discrimination coil. They've reversed the transmit receive, and they've got a significantly different shape, and you'll see that. One kind of shaped like that, and the other one's like this. All right, they're completely different. Now we were able to use that 17-inch coil in close proximity to 2 other detectors using the 8000. One would have been 10-15 meters away, another one was 5 meters away in a little gully right behind us. You can't do that with any pulse induction detector. And you got to remember, this PI over here, this is ZVT2, so it's a huge progression. It's different, but the long and the short of it is, if you want that 13-inch coil, if that's important to you, you're better off waiting for the 3-coil pack. I don't know when it's going to ship, but at the moment they're talking about shipping the standard model, which comes with the 18-inch, in the next couple of weeks. So through March, they're going to be going out. And if you want to secure one in this next couple of weeks, they're obviously going to prioritize orders which are paid in full first. If you want to put a deposit on one, and then when you wait till one comes available to you, that's fine as well. At the moment, we're taking full payment for 18-inch coil standard boxes. We've got a link, I'll post it below, but we've got it on our website, highbanker.com.au, and you can hit add to cart there and put your address in, you check out, and you'll get our bank details. This detector is to be paid by direct deposit or paid in store with credit card with ID, and we can do that as well. If you really want that 13-inch coil, you're better off holding off. I'm not sure if it's going to be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. You know, ETAs are what they are, but if you really want that 13-inch coil and the 17-inch coil, then hold off for the 3-coil pack. Obviously the coils will become available for purchase eventually, but they're going to be focusing on getting these units to people who want to use the unit as it comes first. That's the product. The 3-coil pack will be absolutely awesome to have. I definitely want a 3-coil pack, but most people aren't going to want to wait, because if you've got any patches you want to go back to, you know, it's kind of like with the 7000s. The early adapters went out there, and they got a lot of that deep gold very early on, because they were going back to patches they had from 2, 3, 4 years prior, and we saw a lot of those iron encrusted specimens coming out of WA and things like that, just gaining that extra 40% that you got with the 7000. So the long and short of it is, I know a few people were saying, well, why can't we get the 2 coils, can we buy the 18-inch and then get 2 coils later? That's not available as a product right now. The coils will become available, but like when you buy the GPZ8000 and you had the coil bundle, it was $500 cheaper for that coil bundle. It's going to be exactly the same deal with this. If you're buying the individual coils by themselves, that'll be a standalone product, and the price will be different other than buying them in a bundle. So the long and short of it is, if you want that multi-coil combo, I recommend just putting a deposit down and waiting for the three coil combo. Who knows when those other coils are going to become available for standalone. The demand will be very high for this detector, I guarantee you. Once you see how capable it is and people start using this detector, it's definitely a game changer. And I'll be honest with you, you need to bring your backhoe, because a lot of deep targets, and also very prominent targets, not just a little grumble. You know, you get the little grumble with the 7 and oh, is it there? These are, you know, multi-foot targets that sound massive, and when you dig them up, we did one today. It could have been a 1 or 2 grammer, but it ended up being a flat burnt bit of lead that was down under a tree trunk, and we got into this sugary wash. It sounded great, you know, and it could have easily been gold, but it wasn't. But it was very prominent. There was no way you could miss it. So for patch hunting, this thing's insane, and you can actually swing this quite fast. That's another question a few people have said. Is it a really slow swing one? You obviously want to do slow approach when you've located a target and turn your tracking off. That's definitely worth doing. So what we were doing is we'd locate a target, we come away from it, do a little ground balance, come back in and go, yep, 100% that's a target. Turn tracking off, which is just a matter of hitting a button on the right which has a little user on it. Turn tracking off, come back over really slow, even more prominent target. Scrape and retrieve. And so it's a very fast detector to use. It gives you a lot more feedback, it goes deeper, and it gives you varied information as to whether or not that might be a junk target. It alternates the sound depending on that type of target, which is something that you need to learn. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this. I've probably got an hour swinging this and an hour and a half, 2 hours with the second set of headphones. You can pair 2 headphones with this. You can have one plugged in and one using the WM14. So that's what we were doing. Ashley from Pilbara Prospecting was using the detector, and I had headphones, and vice versa. I was digging for him and back to back. So that's what we did today. But again, I really just want to emphasize, this is ground-breaking technology. It is absolutely insane, and it is going to open up some old ground, as it always does. There's always a breakthrough with Minelab. It's not for everyone, and if you're happy with your 6 and you're happy with the gold you're getting, that doesn't mean you need to rush it and get another one. And those 6s right now at 8,600, that's a bloody good deal. And the 7,000 is just over 10 grand. That's a bloody good deal. It doesn't mean you don't want to buy a 7 because this machine's come out. That 7 is still an absolute weapon. It's an amazing machine. What they've done is they've taken that and gone, no, we need to make this lighter, more simpler, Yeah, so look, we've got a fair few people on the list from last week and overnight, and people messaging me, and I keep adding them into the list. If you do want to, if you want an invoice and you want to grab one now, you can shoot us a message through here. Otherwise, I'm going to whack the link up to the website down below, and you can literally just hit add to cart, and you'll see the bank deposit details, and we will print them off, and in order from when they were paid, we'll allocate them. And I'm told, on good word, that we are going to get, not us, Australia is going to get a good allocation, and we're going to be able to fulfill the demand. And you know, it's always like, you don't know if it's going to be crazy rush, and you know, you never know. They never know how many detectors are going to sell, but they're pretty confident that they've got enough machines for us. So that's pretty exciting. Definitely, the only coil I didn't get to play with today was the 13. We were in a really open space area. There's really no need for it. That 18-inch coil is able to contort and flip and roll around like this, and even though it's open in the middle, it's sort of like concave. So it just cruises across different surfaces. It doesn't behave like a flat 18-inch coil, but it gets caught up on everything. The cable system is amazing. I've seen a few negative comments about the cable system. It is amazing. The engineering on it is amazing. You want to talk about ergonomics? The ergonomics on this machine are absolutely insane. Every aspect, how these, what are they calling it? The shaft, what are they calling it? I've forgotten what they're calling it now. Yokel? I can't remember. But they're actually, you know, they're on each coil. It's not like you have to take that off and connect the coil. They're part of the coil. So all you do is just unclip, bang that through. It's got a little rubber nipple that clips in, and then it's got a cover that tidies it all the way. And then it's got 3 wraps, and then it's got another little section that clips in. So it's very quick to change those coils over. I would say 20 to 30 seconds max. And they're super light, so it's the sort of coils you have, like let's say if we're going to go on a session, I would probably have the 17 in the backpack with the 18 in case I encountered power lines or really high EMI. But yeah, I don't want to waffle on too much, guys. I just wanted to clarify those things. The product is an 18-inch coil. That's how it comes. That is the best coil for that detector. If you want that 17 anti-interference coil and the 13, just hold off for the 3 coil pack. It won't be far off. And with those, we're just taking a deposit so that we can give Minelab an indication on what's the demand, basically give them a kick up the arse to make sure that they get stock to us. That's the goal, and we're here to try and make that happen for you. So, you know, email us, call us, come in store, whatever you like, and we'll push hard for you guys, and we'll try and get some training content together for you. The moment I'm allowed to, I'll get demo units installed, ordered, and we'll have one in each store. And as soon as I have that demo unit, I'll get out in the bush and I'll try to show you guys how, particularly for us in southeast Queensland, how this coil actually reacts with the type of ground where we detect up here. And yeah, we'll just try and get as much content as we can, as quick as we can. Minelab telling me they've definitely got some videos, some training videos there ready, so we'll let you know when they're up, and we'll absolutely bang them on here so that you can watch that as well. But other than that, I just want to clarify those few things. I've just got back to our room here. My wife's flown in with my kids, who I haven't seen since Monday morning, so I'm going to go and hang out with them for a little bit. I'll try not to respond to messages straight away, but a little bit later I'll jump on and check out. But otherwise, yeah, if you want us to send you an email with an invoice, hit the private message and just send this through. Email address, phone number, name, and or shipping address, and we'll sit down and I'll start sending invoices through for you with some bank details. Have an awesome weekend, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.